I've been part of the Revolution just beginning this year.
I've been part of the Revolution since 1999, my freshman year of college at Ball State.
I've been going to the Revolution for 2 years.
I have been a part of the Revolution for about 3 years now.
I was actually going to go to the Christian Campus House, but my friends from back home, I was hanging out with them the night before, and they told me that they were going to go to Revolution.
What prompted me to join the Revolution was this insistent boy in my astronomy class my freshman year.
In the church initially, what drew me to it was just like how it was so familiar, I guess.
The reason I went to the first church service was because a next door neighbor in the dorm persistently asked me to go for a couple of months. I blew him off a lot because I was usually out partying Saturday night before church, and so I always slept in. And I think after a couple of months of seeing the guys who were inviting me, kind of seeing their lives, seeing that they really cared about people, they were sincere, they were fun, I just kind of felt bad blowing them off, so I told them I'd go one day.
My first impression of the Revolution was definitely an interesting one because it was different than any church that I had ever been to, which was very few.
It felt like home because it was very much so like my church back home.
My first impression of the Revolution was that it reminded me a lot of my church that I have back home.
So I enjoyed it. It was interesting. The first church service was on Halloween, and the pastor was speaking about what does the Bible say about psychics, ghosts, and aliens. And so I hadn't been to any church services, but I assumed you didn't really talk about aliens at church very much.
Since I've joined the Revolution, it's definitely changed my life, which I know is kind of cliche to say.
It's helped me to grow in my relationship with Christ because I was kind of worried when I came here that I wouldn't be able to find a group of people who had the same beliefs as I did or who had the same values as I did. So getting involved with the house church at Revolution has just helped me to grow in my faith.
I'm in such a better place now than I have been, and I've grown so much spiritually here.
You know, I wouldn't give credit just to the church. I think Jesus has impacted me, but I think Jesus has used the church to impact every aspect of my life. So it's impacted the person I am. It's impacted who I marry. It's impacted my vocation. It's impacted me as a dad. And I think it's through Jesus using relationships and people in the church. So I think when I say the church, I really mean the people in the church are the people who have been impacting me.
I really like the accountability partners that we have because sometimes if you don't want to make time to read your Bible, you don't want to make time to study a certain book of the Bible or whatever. So having those close relationships really helps you to stay on track with your walk with the Lord and stay on track with school.
Being a part of the Revolution has really taught me what it means to have a relationship with God and that I am going to make mistakes and I am loved in my mistakes. I am forgiven in my mistakes.
Well, when I first went to church, I wasn't a Christian. So, it helped kind of create my faith.
Going to the small group at house church, it's a lot easier to make connections because you actually get to talk one-on-one with them and hear their stories about their walk with the Lord while you share yours too.
The community of the small group is a lot more intimate, and you get to really know people.
Because relationships happen on a much more natural and deeper level.
The community that we have at House Church is more deep, and we're able to just make these deeper connections with people.
It's not easy for me to open up to people, so doing that in a small environment was really appealing to me.
There's definitely been a lot of friendships that I've developed through attending the Revolution and through pursuing my relationship with Christ that I know I wouldn't have otherwise.
But the kind of cool thing about the church is you have this common bond of Jesus, but then everything else can be different. All right, cool. Camera loves me.